Greetings Game Watchers, I'm Chris Capel and welcome to the review of the Banner Saga 2. For starters, if you haven't played the first Banner Saga, I don't advise starting here. There's a recap video for anyone who hasn't played since 2014, but this is very much the second part of a longer story. After the climactic battle at the end of the first game, you're left with a single caravan to manage and one of the worst dredge warriors dead at your feet. Now Rook or Let or whoever you've got left is pressing on for the human capital of Arborang in the hope of finding safety. Fat chance, and not just because the caravan will split into two once again not long into Banner Saga 2. I was really invested in the story the whole way through. Despite being focused on a small group of people, it's really epic and the characters are all fantastically well written. You'll get attached to all of them, which probably isn't a good idea. You manage a caravan moving on a set path through a dark Norse fantasy world. You have no choice over destination or path, instead you have to manage supplies, morale, battles, the people and the hard choices that come up frequently. Along with the obvious similarities to the Oregon Trail, the gameplay can be seen as similar to The Walking Dead and other recent Telltale titles, in that most of your time will be spent making tough choices and dealing with the consequences. In my opinion, the Banner Saga 2 actually outdoes the likes of Telltale, The Witcher and other choose-your-own-adventure games in this area. In Banner Saga 2, several of my offhand choices killed major characters, including at least one guy who I'd been upgrading since the start of the first game and was really important. These choices extend to maintaining your caravan. Supplies are the main resource which is consumed as you travel, with more people consuming more supplies per day. There are two types of people, clansmen and fighters. One of the big improvements upon Banner Saga 1, clansmen now forage for supplies, so you no longer have to rely upon buying them, and it makes clansmen more important, whereas they were a bit useless in the last game. Fighters don't forage, but the more you have, the better you can protect clansmen during war battles, gaining more renown. Running out of supplies, going too long without resting, and various events affect morale, which in turn affects your performance in combat. This takes place in turn-based battles upon a board. Attack power is tied to health, so units weaken as they get hurt. Special moves, improved attacks and extended movement all consume willpower. The combat is all about using a hero's abilities efficiently and willpower cleverly. All seems identical to the last game at first, but there have been a number of improvements. For starters, there's a lot more dialogue during combat, which is a small thing but helps ties the battles into the story a lot better. Secondly, Stoic have introduced objectives. In Banner Saga 1 your goal would often just be kill anything not friendly, whereas here there's more of a range, like maybe kill one specific unit or clear a path for a snowdrift. This allows players to think more tactically and means that going brute force with unit types isn't the way to a victory, and consequently the combat is a lot fairer and more palatable this time around. Furthermore, it's gorgeous. It's all lovely, detailed 2D artwork with brilliant character and location designs along with occasional Don Bluth quality animated cutscenes. It's lovely and with such a simple setup manages to tell an epic end-of-the-world Norse fantasy story better than most AAA games or Hollywood movies. The one other major improvement I haven't mentioned so far is the training. Previously it was rather pointless, but in Banner Saga 2 it's rather essential. It cleverly teaches players how to exploit particular hero abilities. For example, I had no idea why Bolverk would attack twice in one move until I played the training and discovered his passive Frenzy ability. Furthermore, Stoic realised that players need to be bribed to play training missions, so they give a lot of renown for completing them, and there can be quite tough, fun little challenges. I've been hugely positive all through this review, so do I have anything bad to say about Banner Saga 2? Only a few minor things. Saving is still not highlighted, so every time I quit the game I'm taking a risk. Furthermore, the map screen is still just cosmetic, and it's a shame the player has no say over the caravan's destination or even route. My final complaint comes from the pedantic old school gamer in me. This is not Banner Saga 2. It's the Banner Saga Part 2. It's not really a sequel per se, it's the continuing story. And while chock full of improvements, the game felt like it was the next episode rather than a sequel. A longer, more satisfying episode with basically everything polished, but still just another episode. Banner Saga 2 may be just the next part of Stoic's ongoing tale, but basically everything has been improved. They've kept the lovely art, animations and design and continued the wonderful apocalyptic story for a gripping 12 hours filled with twists, turns and probably deaths, with hard choices that can have real consequences to the story. The previously slightly iffy combat has been buffed by the introduction of proper objectives that call for actual strategy, and the training missions ensure you'll know how to use heroes effectively. I was hooked for my entire playthrough, and like the first game, never needed to turn the difficulty down to easy just to finish it, and I'm sad that it'll be another 2 years before I can finish the story. If that's not the mark of a good game, I don't know what is. That all said, I gave Banner Saga 2 a high score of 8.5. Thanks for watching everyone, Chris Capel and GameWatcher out.